Welcome back. Well, Nuhu Atta joins us now. He is the National Secretary of Nigerian Young Professionals as we continue our focus on the ongoing national conference. Thank you for coming on this morning.
No, thank you very much.
Well, yes, we do have a lot of a number of young people because we have heard them argue look, we do not have a sufficient amount of young people there to necessitate or make the kind of change that people want. Do you agree with that?
Yes, definitely. I agree with that. We are just 18 in the national conference, 6 from the National Youth Council, and 6 from the student body, the National Association of Students. Then 6 were picked from the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. So we're just 18, which actually do not represent the number of young people we have in this country. We have currently 80 million, young people in Nigeria, and which represent 60% of the population of Nigeria. So if you take 18, and we are the future generation of this country, and what they are discussing in the national conference has to do with the future of this country, then you will know that really we are actually underrepresented in the.
What kind of representation would be close to what you're looking for?
Maybe we will have taken like 40%. What we want is that the future of Nigeria should be decided with the youths in perspective. And we believe that the older generation have tried a lot in trying to solve the problem of this country. But now we have an explosion in the world of youth population in the world. Out of 6.3 billion people on the surface of the earth, half of it are youths. That's the reason why you discover in some nations of the world, youths are actually demanding for change in government. Youths are demanding there are a lot of revolutions, and they're all championed by youths. So Nigeria is not an exception.
But are the youths playing that role here?
Yes.
In Nigeria?
Yes, the youths are playing that role. The problem that we have is that the youths don't have a voice. Is that okay? And that voice is supposed to be a unified platform that will bring youth advocacy groups, youth organizations together, and will voice out our own grievances or our own issues that we want to accomplish.
When you say youths don't have a voice to do what? They've been accused of not even being able to handle their own basic needs. How can they now be able to handle the nation?
No, what I'm talking about is that I want you to understand that I think there's a lot of assumption on the youths. I think there are few people in the country that are bad eggs on the youths. Is that okay? But the truth about it is that we have young professionals in different fields of human endeavors in this country that can be able to transform this country. Are you understanding what I'm saying? We have people that you can trust with leadership positions in this country, people that have the capacity to contribute to the system. And that's what we're talking about. So we need a platform that will be able to bring these people on board in leadership. That is why one of the objective of our organization, the Young Professional Forum organization, is for youth participation in governance. Because we believe this is a knowledge economy. And the knowledge economy has information as its key driving force. That simply means people that have the right information should be the people in government. People that have the right answers to the questions, people that have the solutions to the problem should be the ones in power in this country. So that's what we're advocating for. So what we are advocating for is a broader youth representation through advocacy groups so that we could be able to form a force and make our demands for the government.
What about, because when you gave that statistics about 18 million, talk about the voting population, the registered voting population in this country. Lots of them are youths as well. Have they been able to throw their weight or pull their weight when it comes to voting?
Okay, we have been able. I think there has been a lot of laxity in the involvement of youths because of lost hope, dashed hopes in the past. So a lot of youths have not really been too involved in election processes. So what we are doing now is to advocate, is to meet people in the grassroots level and both professional grassroots and tell them we have to decide for this country because we have the voting power to put the right people in positions in power in this country. And we have people also that could represent the youths, even in government in this country. So what we are doing now is to educate people. We have held our regional conferences in Kaduna, in Enugu, in Bayelsa, and we rounded up in Lagos on Saturday. And the turn-up has just over 1,000 people in every of the meeting, and we have 13 million members worldwide of the members of our organization worldwide. We have in the US, we have in Canada, we have in Singapore, we have both in different countries of the world. And what we are doing is we want to synergize. We want to make sure that we marshal out all the resources that is needed, both human and material resources, to make sure that our agenda in this country is taken, that the next generation, power shifts to the next generation in this country.
You're talking about 13 million Nigerians?
Yeah, 13 million Nigerians all over the world.
All over the world as your members.
As your members.
How would you say that you people get talking? How do you keep communication going?
We keep communication with them through of course, this globalization, internet is there. We communicate with our members, and we travel on a regular basis to different sections of the world, to relate with our members, to fine-tune our strategies, and to plan. The election is coming, so we want to play a significant role. Please, I want to state this very clear in the media. Our agenda as an organization, as youths in this country, is to mobilize the youth to produce the next president in 2019. But we want to make sure that our voice is heard in 2015. Because the truth about it is that we know that the president of this country is a listening president. We know that. The problems he has is that he has a lot of bureaucratic bottlenecks close to him. And then our voice has not been able to reach him yet. The 13% affirmative action for women, he's been able to listen and do something about it. But we want to synergize to make sure that our voice is heard, that he will hear our voice. We are marshalling out everything that is required to make sure that we...
Okay, well, I think that, by the time it's Nuhu Atta, I'm sure that by the time it's 2019, perhaps, Nigerians all over the world will be able to vote. It's something that INEC has been considering. So maybe we shouldn't talk about political participation from diaspora just yet, because 2019 is still far away. But looking at what is happening at the conference and listening to some of the complaints, one would say that if you look at what we have currently in terms of the House of Representatives and the Senate, oftentimes people say that they prefer to see what's going on in the Senate because it's a lot more tempered. You find that there's plenty of maturity in approaching even very, very sensitive issues, which you usually do not get in the House, according to them. I mean, this is general opinion. And how this is because they believe that it's because of the youth population in the House. People are a lot more passionate, a lot more prone to maybe not comporting themselves properly, in this. Would you think that youths would have had the maturity? Because they believe that the issues that have been discussed at the conference are issues of grave importance to not just Nigeria of now, but Nigeria of the future. Do you think that youths would have been able to comport themselves in such a way that passions are tempered, emotions are tempered, and that it's only the meat of the matter that finally makes a forefront?
Yeah, exactly. I believe that. You see, the truth about it is that if you look at the composition of the people in the House of Representatives, and then you decide to look at their CVs, you will discover that if you look at their CVs, you will discover that there is a major problem when it has to do with the crop of people that are participating in government. It's very important for us to understand that the crop of people are actually the major issue. Because I remember during the time of Bankole, the House was actually accusing him of focusing his attention on some few members of the House, not taking some people along as a result, or he's just focusing on some certain people. And then his comment was, okay, if you want me to travel with you abroad, if you want me to take you to places that we have to deliberate on issues that has to do with this nation, my problem is that there are people in the House that can read, that can write. That was his response. There are people in the House. So I want you to understand that the representation that we are talking about are representation of professionals, people that have maturity to handle issues. In the House of Representatives, there are a lot of issues there. There are a lot of the composition of people there. It's terrible.